Hey there, Stampers. This is Sherry Roth. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Sherwood Park, Alberta, Canada. And I thought we'd switch things up today and do something non-Christmassy. So I thought that the next occasion coming up is Valentine's Day. So I wanted to create something that I could use for either my husband or maybe my son, or even my daughter. She's a little bit more, she doesn't like pink and purple, so I wanted to steer away from those colors and do something a little bit more versatile. So we're using brand new product that will be available in the January to June mini catalog. But if you want to get your hands on it early, you can include any of these pre-order products in your starter kit between now and January 2nd. All right, so if you want to start playing with this stuff, you can get your hands on it by purchasing the starter kit, and I'll have a link below if you are in Canada for you to do so. Okay, so this is the card that we're going to make. We're using lots of new product, and I'm mixing the From My Heart Suite, I believe that's what it's called, From My Heart Suite products, and something from a different suite that's in the catalog. It's called the Coastal Weave 3D Embossing Folder, which is this pattern here. Okay, so we are using the Heartfelt Bundle. That includes this stamp set and a duo, a punch duo. So this is a bundle. You can get all of this and save 10%, but you can also purchase these punches together as well. So there is a scalloped border punch, or scalloped border heart punch, and then a regular heart punch, and they nest beautifully. And of course it coordinates with this, and there's some DSP that it coordinates with. So lots of coordination here. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, let's bring in the Big Shot, and we are going to use this beautiful Coastal Weave embossing folder and add a bit of texture to this piece of crumb cake cardstock. And the crumb cake cardstock measures 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Okay, so I'm just gonna set that in there and bring this in. So this is one of our new 3D embossing folders. So you will need a cushion in between. We have a blue mat that is available that you can use. I don't own that blue mat, so I use this gray foam mat that came in with an embossing package that we had last year, and I find it works really well. Okay, so then we've got that gorgeous texture, so I'll set this aside. Okay, and then this is gonna go on top of here. I'm just gonna use a little bit of multi-purpose glue. And just add that to the center. This piece of white measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 inches. So you have just that sliver of a border around the edges. I really like the look of combining the widths of my borders. So this one has a really narrow border, but then when I go to stick it onto the card base, you'll see that there is a wider border. So this is just a standard size crumb cake card base that measures 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. Just adding a bit of Tombow on the 4 corners. So you can see here that this has a larger border around the edges. And I love the look of that. All right, so there's our base. And then I've got a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to stamp the arrow. And you know what, if I'm honest, one of the reasons that I bought this stamp set is because of this arrow. I am a big scrapbooker, and I can envision using this arrow in a variety of colors for backgrounds on scrapbook layouts. Okay, so I'm just stamping that with some Memento ink. And then I've gone ahead and I fussy cut it, so you don't have to watch me fussy cut. And then I've got this Happy Valentine's Day image. I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat, and I've run out of white. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so then I've grabbed a piece of Whisper White cardstock and I'm going to use Real Red ink. So you can replicate this card in any color combination and I think it would look great. I chose these colors, like I said at the beginning of the video, because I wanted to do something that was not quite, you know, so feminine. I didn't want to include pinks. So I chose the crumb cake and then some Real Red. Okay, so I got that stamped. Looks like my red could be re-inked a little bit. I'm going to use the heart punch, slide it in. And punch that out so it gives you a nice white border around the edges. And then I've already got a couple of these scalloped hearts just punched out of crumb cake cardstock. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive. Where did my arrow go? Here it is. A little bit of adhesive behind my heart so that I can stick the arrow the way I want it. So like that. And then I'm going to use some dimensionals. And that's going to get popped up onto this crumb cake scalloped heart. And I'll have a full supply list in the description below for all of the supplies that I've used, in case you have any questions. You can also post in the comments and I happily answer them for you. Okay, and then that is gonna go on here. And again, I'm gonna use dimensionals just to give it a bit more dimension. And I love the look of things that are popped up. It gives you kind of that gray shadow look behind. It just makes it look so professional. I don't know, I love the look of it. So that's going to get popped up. And then I'm gonna take some linen thread and tie a bow. And I'll just trim this and use actually I think I'll use a mini glue dot for this. So I'll just stick this on here and use my paper piercer to pick it off. And then that is going to go right in here, kind of underneath that layer. Just like that. All right, and then on the inside, I'm going to stamp Love You Lots, which is also from the same Heartfelt stamp set. Just going to use my Memento ink. Ink that up and stamp it right onto the crumb cake cardstock. You can also add a white layer in here, but crumb cake's an easy enough color that you can write right on the card base. And there we go. It's perfect. It's done. All right, so there's a quick and easy Valentine card for you and something a bit more masculine that you could use for some of the men in your life. All right, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos that I offer. And if there's any of these supplies that you would like to order, I will have a link to my online shop below. And I'm always grateful for your orders. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye-bye.